Hi there, it's David Young, the Resourceful Coach, and today we're going to look at putting and we're going to stop you 3-putting. This is the key thing about this video. We're going to stop those 3-putts when you get inside 30 feet. And why we're using 30 feet as our number is if we look at, you can go online and look at this, if we look at a PGA Tour player, when they hit a green in regulation, this is the average distance they end up from the hole, around about 30 feet, and they 2-putt it pretty much 99% of the time. Now, the good thing with putting is there's nothing in putting that's a strength element. So there's a good way that you could be as good as a tour player when it comes to putting. But we're going to look at 3 key things today that are going to help you to stop those 3 putts in this situation. Okay. Now, we're going to do it in order of what you should be doing when you arrive at the green. So we're going to look at 3 things. We're going to look at green reading. We're then going to trust that green reading. So clarity of thought, so your mind, and then your technique is going to trust that to get the result. And what's interesting, whenever I do a putting lesson for the first time, everybody wants to look at their technique, and I never start with that. Because what I've learned is if you're mentally not happy with the line, you don't put a good stroke on the shot. So actually this importance of the order we're doing this is what I need you to do, is go to the putting green or go out on a course on an evening, find a green and go through this routine. If you do it, I will guarantee you will get that first putt much closer to the hole, because that green reading element is the key bit. So let's start with green reading. Okay, we've got a few balls here, around about 30 feet, and we're going to have a putt with those. And the first thing I want you to do when you get onto the green is read the green. That's what you should be doing, because that's going to determine where you're going to aim, how hard you're going to hit it to get the result you want. So you might be able to see it on the camera here, but the green here, my idea of how I read a green is I will always sort of go to the hole and I'll imagine filling the hole up with water and let it overflow, and the water then in my mind would run down this way. So I'm just going to put a ball on the green approximately where I believe it's going to go. Okay, and if you just want to work on green reading, go to my green reading no more 3 putts video that I've done, and it will show you some exercises you can go through there to help you with that. But that's where I believe the ball's going to go. It's going to run that way. So that's my first important thing that I've learned. I know all my balls are going to go that way. We'll see in a minute when I hit the putt whether I've got that right. Now what I've got to do, I've got to decide how far to this side of the hole I now need to aim, and how that's going to influence where the line is. Is it an uphill putt? Is it a downhill putt? So if the water has run down towards this ball, this should now be a straight uphill putt. And this green is probably a little bit steeper than average, what I'd call a 3% green. Okay, and we're going to look at that when we'll explain that as we go to the next part. So I believe everything's going to run this way. So now, if you found that low point, you must putt the opposite side of the hole. Okay, that's the important thing. So what I'm going to look at now, I'm just going to pace out what we've got and see what we've got here. So it's about 30 feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 12 paces. We've said this green, and this is experience, this is something I will do in a later video, is to understand how much the green, how the slope is working. We'll do that in another video. But it's a 3% slope, and I've paced out about 12 paces. So it's a little bit how good your maths is. Because we're literally at right angles to where the low point is, this is the biggest breaking putt on the green for that distance. And all you got to do is 2 things. Times 3 by 12. 3 is the steepness of the slope, 12 is the amount of paces. This putt is going to break approximately 36 inches. Okay, and this is why this is important, because I want to get a guideline of where I'm aiming. Now that 36 inches always comes from where you want to go into the hole. Because we're coming in from here, that's probably just favouring this half of the hole here. Okay, so I'm going to take my putters approximately 3 feet, which is what we're saying in length, is to put that into position there. And I'm going to put a golf ball now, what I believe the line is. So we've done our first part, we've read the green. Now, the important thing is, even if this isn't correct, the next bit you must do. You must believe that that's right. You must go back to your ball and have the confidence, say, that's the line I'm going to hit the ball on. And if you do, it's amazing how the third part, your technique will improve. Because all of a sudden now you trust the line. If you get over a putt, and we've all done it before, we've stood over a putt and you get halfway through sort of setting up and your brain goes, oh, is that the right line? Is that not? And then you start adjusting things. And that's where most people's putting stroke goes to pieces. So I'm going to trust this. I'm going to say to myself, right, I want to start on that. And we'll see how good I'm doing it from the camera angle. Can I start the ball on that line? And then what I can do from this exercise is I can really learn those 3 things. Number 1, have I read the putt correctly? 2, This is you being honest. Did I trust it and believe in it and commit to it? And 3, is my technique good enough to start it on that line? Let's have a look. I'm going to have a go at this putt. Let's see what we get. So I just come back. Personally from here, I'm just going to look at it. I'm just going to confirm that. There's the ball on that side of the hole telling me that's the low point. The ball to the right is my aim. So that's where I'm going to aim. And because of that fact that I'm coming in from sort of what I'd call 3 o'clock, it's not really uphill or downhill. This putt's just going across the hill. It's the slope that's going to bring that round to the hole. So my job is to trust that line. So if I can hit it down the line of that ball, hit it there, see what happens. Okay, so let's learn from that putt. I think I hit that on a pretty decent line. I don't think that was too bad. Maybe fractionally a little bit high. But the reason why I haven't got that ball close to the hole is my speed. But that's fine, because I can learn from that and look at it and think, good. But you could see the idea. The ball was definitely turning that way. But because I started the ball slightly right of where I wanted, I've sort of putted up the hill. Now, if you think about it, if you're putting directly up the hill, there's no break. So that's why that ball didn't break as much as we would expect. So let's have another go. Let's see if I can start it on the right line. That one was a little bit right. So again, I've just got to trust that. I now know that actually that is a good line. I just didn't start it there. That looks better to me. Let's see what we get. Here it comes round on the green. And what have we got? We've now got that ball within 15 inches of the hole. Great. So from 30 feet, I'm giving myself that chance. The ball has ended up directly behind the hole. So now this is the mind really should now be happy with that and say, right, let's do it again. Let's trust that idea again and feel we can get into that process of, I've read the putt. I now know that's the correct read. From there, commit to that line. See what we get. Here we go. If it rolls out, we might go in. Brilliant. Okay, so within 3 putts there, because I went through that process, and the whole idea was to stop 3 putts, well, we've had a right result because we've actually 1-putted one. We've got the second one within a distance where we think, yeah, we should be holding that for 2, and a little bit of work on the first one. But remember, this is an exercise. This is a drill to get you understanding what to do. A lot of you will say, well, I only get 1 go on the golf course. You do. But if we look at the great players in this game, have they just walked onto the golf course and done it for the first time? No, they've practiced it loads. So you've got to do the same thing. Take this idea to the practice putting green. As I said, if you go out one evening on the golf course and it's quiet and there's nobody about, take a little bit of time on the real green. So the 3 things you're looking for. Number 1, read the green. For me, the most important thing is find that low point. If you can find that low point, what's going to happen then is everything's going to turn that way. Again, it's a good way. If you're out there on your own, you're practicing, just do a couple of putts straight up the hill to check that that is the right position. Number 2, the mind. We talk about it. Golfers say to me, golf is 90% in the mind, 10% physical, 100% right. In fact, I think golf is 100% in the mind because it allows the physical side to take on what you need to do. But the difficulty for most golfers is as soon as you start talking about the mind, they sort of shut down. They want to work on their technique, yet they believe the mind is the most important thing. So clarity of thinking. I trusted that line. You saw what happened within 3 putts. Okay, that's the important thing. I gradually got better because I started to trust it more. Did I work on my technique? No, not initially. But what you can then look at, you might start to see a pattern. You might start to see, I can't start the ball on the right line. Well, that's fine. You work on that part of your technique. So the direction. I'm not getting the speed right. Okay, now you can work on that. As we saw, I got the line pretty good on 2 of the putts. I got the speed perfectly right on 1, and it disappeared in the hole. So golf is a game where you've got to understand what to do, but it's this process of breaking it down. If you do this, those 3 putts will disappear. The biggest reason why people 3-putt is because they don't read the putt correctly. They go too directly at the hole, they end up too far away, and that creates the problem. I hope you enjoyed that tip. If you did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I look forward to seeing you soon.